fan of softball, then you are going to love the Fastpitch TV show. We're bringing you more interviews, more videos, and more product reviews than anyone else on the planet. Sit back and get ready. Here's the Fastpitch TV show.
Hello and welcome to the Fastpitch TV show. I'm your host, Gary Leland. Now, if you found us on Facebook or another video sharing device, please check out my website, fastpitch.tv. It's home of the Fastpitch TV network and a place to find all my softball video channels and softball blogs. At this time, I have 7 different video channels and 11 different blogs on the website. And all these blogs, videos, everything's dedicated to one thing, and that's Fastpitch Softball. Now this week, I want to welcome a new partner to the Fastpitch TV show. I want to welcome Louisville Slugger as a new partner to this show over the next year. Now swing the technology that's dominating the Fastpitch game at every level of play, from youth to NCAA championships to the world stage. Louisville Slugger, the hardest hitting name in sports. Show them some love. Go to their website, slugger.com, and see what Louisville Slugger is coming up with now. Now, earlier this year, I was at Softball Con held in Louisville, Kentucky. I'd been to the first Softball Con in 2011, which was sponsored by Louisville Slugger. But I got to tell you, since 2011, it's grown a whole bunch. It was a great convention. You really need to check it out. And go to their website and check that out first at softballcon.net. Now, while I was at Softball Con, I filmed my friend Bill Hillhouse as he gave a great pitching clinic. Now, this week I bring you part 4, the 4th and final part of his clinic. If you haven't seen 1, 2, or 3, part 1, 2, or 3, I recommend you go back, start with part 1 of his clinic, and work your way through. That'll start with episode 196. Now, I'll show you part 4 of Bill's clinic right after this word from my sponsor.
Do you need a softball bat? Do you want to save $30? SoftballJunk.com is offering an additional $30 discount off the price of all non-sale softball bats on their website. That's right, $30. So the next time you buy a bat, go to softballjunk.com and enter the code FPTV30 during checkout. And wham! You just put a cool $30 in your pocket.
All right, well, here's the thing about crow hopping. Crow hopping is not a problem with the feet. Crow hopping is a problem with the hands. Every pitcher that crow hops does a hitch in their arm circle. They go and throw, or they go and throw, or if they keep their hands together, they might go and throw. There is a hitch in their arm circle when they crow hop. So to fix the crow hop, they got to speed up their hands. If their hands are going fast, the feet do not have time to jump, replant, and push again. It has to keep their momentum going. So if you have a pitcher that crow hops, the best thing you can get her to do is practice with a lighter ball as much as possible to go as fast as she can with her arm circle. Okay, so it's kind of like, I don't want to go into the whole overloading versus underloading debate. You know, there's some people that don't want to take a heavy bat in the on-deck circle. They want to take a light bat, teach themselves fast muscle memory, fast swing. But in this case, a lighter ball can really help them because it will promote faster arm circle. Even using wiffle balls will get their arm going faster and faster and faster and faster. So pitchers that crow hop, again, it's not because of the feet. The feet follow the hands. If I don't have this hitch in my arm circle where I go, then my foot does not have a chance to replant. It's that simple. So there's a big misunderstanding about that, about what causes it. And leaping is a different, it's kind of a different thing, but it's not. And I'm going to talk about how to fix leaping in the same, I'll come back to leaping in just 1 second if you don't mind. Okay? Any other questions on the drills? Does that make sense? Yes, sir.
Do you recommend using a weighted ball?
Here's the problem with weighted balls, and I know the internet is an amazing thing, okay? And one of the things about the internet is that there's a lot of message boards and forums where people are dispensing advice that may or may not be actually good advice. And a lot of people on the internet tell you that weighted balls are really bad for you. And in my experience, if your mechanics are right, the risk of injury becomes minimal anyway. No matter what, whenever you're doing anything, there's a chance for injury. People that tell you that they have a 100% guarantee that their pitching motion is safe and there's no injuries, okay, yeah. But weighted balls, the problem with weighted balls is that they start to get heavy, obviously, after a couple pitches. And so what you start to see is the girls start to their circle slows down. And so they start muscling it versus actually working on fast arm circle. So depending on what you're working on is what I would recommend with a weighted ball. Weighted balls are really good for working on spins for the different pitches to help build up finger strength. But the actual pitching motion, I do very little with weighted balls, and I don't really do anything in lessons with them. I would kind of encourage them maybe to just do the half motion with it where they can really work on the pull down and the snap of their elbow. That would be beneficial. But the full circle thing, especially in the younger ages, and the younger ages are the ones that we really got to worry about. I mean, listen, there's a lot of crazy dads out there. I mean, I got a girl, and that comes to lessons with me, they just had another baby. He's looking for a 1U travel league that he can get his baby daughter in because the other one's 12U and playing. And I want to make her pitch, and I want to get, dude, I mean, come on. I mean, I know he was kidding, but they just want to, there's just way too much emphasis put on a lot of these training things at young ages, and that's why we get so many of the burnouts. Girls burn out too quickly. But going back to the weighted ball thing, I don't like them going full circle with it, just for not so much for the injury factor, but for the fact that I want her muscling it. So, yes, sir.
You talk about the dragging of your foot and your laces facing the catcher. Why do so many pitching coaches teach the banana, the curl?
Yeah, and going back to Michelle Smith on that picture, Michelle Smith is a figure 4 finisher. And I think there's a lot of pitchers who finish, or they're taught to do something similar to that. And again, from what I consider to be common sense, a couple of things happen when a pitcher does the figure 4, okay? Both of them aren't exactly what I want. Number one, I'm stopping my forward momentum. And number two, I'm sending part of my momentum a different direction other than where I'm trying to throw the ball. So in a perfect world, I want my foot to drag as straight as possible because I want every bit of my energy going in the direction I'm trying to throw the ball. So why do they teach it? I don't know why it gets taught to do the banana peel or the S or whatever they call it down here. Every pitching coach is a little bit different on what they teach. Ask them why. I mean, I encourage and love it when people ask me why, especially the girls. I want them to ask why because I want them to understand. They're not being disrespectful when they ask why. And I know a lot of pitching coaches that don't want that. They don't want that question why. They just do it, and that's it. I can't explain to you why somebody does. I can explain to you why I don't want them to. Now, it's never going to be perfect, straight up. Okay, we don't live in a perfect world. It's not going to be perfect. But I want it to be as close to perfect as I can possibly get. And the reason I don't is because I want every bit of my energy going towards my target. So I really think the figure 4, I think there's pitchers who have had a great amount of success with it. I would think that some of them could have had even more success and thrown the ball even harder if they didn't do it. The other problem that I find with the figure 4, especially the figure 4, and by the figure, everybody know what I mean by the figure 4? I mean, they actually pick their leg up and they stop, is that they're not teaching themselves a good hard closure with their hips. I want the hips to close. The question is, when do they close? And just like somebody throwing a ball overhand, when you throw a ball overhand, your arm goes, leg follows. Underhand, same thing. Arm goes, leg follows. And if my leg is staying behind me, then I'm not getting that good torque that I want from my hips. So I do need my hips to close. It's a question of when do it close. And I want them to try to push their hip, or push their hand with their hip. So my arm goes through, hip pushes it. And if I'm getting that chain of events, those things happening in sequence, then I know I'm getting the power from my body all going in the one direction of where I want the ball to go. And it's going to mean that I'm setting myself up to be able to throw the pitches. And I'm going to go into the rise ball and probably in the next session, we're almost there, in the next session, because it's the most complicated pitch to do. And I want to make sure that everybody understands why it's so complicated and all that. So let me just rush through this here real quick. Spins, I'll get in more into the spins of the pitches in the next session. So there's my tease, so hopefully everybody comes back. Qualifications. Pitching coach. There are 1,000 pitching coaches in the world. There might even be 1,000 in your neighborhood. Everybody who's had a daughter that pitches suddenly miraculously becomes a pitching coach. It happens all the time. Everybody's got a good heart. There isn't anybody that's doing anything or teaching anything that is doing it maliciously or with bad intent. but what are they actually teaching? Make sure you're not staying with your pitching coach because you like them or because they have a good rapport with your daughter. Make sure the material that they're teaching them makes sense. A lot of times we get confused and caught up in that emotion part where she really likes this pitching coach. Yeah, but why is she teaching her to do this when Kat Osterman does not do this? Why is she teaching her to do slam the door when Michelle Smith doesn't slam the door? Ask those questions. If you do it in the right context and in the right frame, you're not being rude. So, and again, does what you're learning match with the best in the world are doing? The mechanics are the same for all the pitchers, best in the world, male and female. They're using the same motions.
Have you heard about the great softball coaches clinic that Fastpitch TV is hosting? They have a great lineup of speakers, including softball pitching great Kat Osterman. See all the speakers at www.fastpitch.tv/clinic. I'm sure this clinic's gonna sell out quick, so get your ticket today.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the fourth and final part of Bill's clinic. Now make sure and come back next week's show and watch it because that's show number 200 and I'm going to try to do something really special for you, okay? So make sure you come back and watch it. Now if you have an iPhone, an iPad, an Android phone, you need to check the Fastpitch TV show app today. Go and get it. Just search softball. You'll find it in your phone's app store. Don't forget to check out our new skills video channel at coacheslook.com. It's a great way for high school players to get noticed by college coaches, something new we're building. Well, that's really about it for this week. So until next week, till show number 200, thanks for watching. This is Gary Leland saying bye.
This show is a member of the Fastpitch TV network.